The one thing that I was concerned about with this upcoming executive budget was the cut of almost 14% to the veterans budget. I do understand that a lot of those legislative ads will be put back. But the $5 million for veterans nonprofit capital funding is something I would love to see continued, as members also patch in with their local district needs as well. But the one thing I did want to start with, which I think is wonderful, is the $300,000 for the mobile veterans advisor clinics. As we discussed, it's really important to meet people where they're at. I think it's great, the find and serve motto. I guess I wanted to ask, how long will it take to actually get these mobile vans up and running? And do we have a breakdown of where they'll be going, which counties, is it every county, and how frequently?
Thank you so much for that question, Senator. We're looking at all of the details right now as far as having them wrapped, what is going to be supplied on there, because there may be a few surprises on there. We may be able to not only give them some of the services that they need on paper, but we just may be able to supply them with a good pair of warm socks on there as well. And again, we're looking forward to having them in all of those places. We've been listening to our partners, and some of our partners are looking forward to getting these into areas where they feel may have been a little large for them, and conjoining with them. One of the wonderful things that I have to tell you that I'm proud of the governor, but also so many of you that sit here, is that we were allowed to go out and to join with you and support so many of our veteran partners at over 425 events just between September and December. And seeing you there and supporting our veterans and seeing their response and utilizing not veterans as a number, because we are not numbers, but allowing all of you and all of us to be able to listen to them and not assume their voice, but to use a qualitative, phenomenological approach to asking them what their needs were. When I saw this and we received the responses as to the things that we need, that helps us to know what it is that we need on these mobiles, because some of them needed diapers. Others needed the food coupons that our governor has invested in again. Some of them did not need some of the other programs that we are assuming that they need. But I want to thank you again, because we saw you out there at these over 400 events in the past few months, and listening to what it is that the veterans need. And I know if we continue to do that, continue to listen to them and allow them their own voice, then we're going to do bigger and better even this year than that $900 million that we brought in.
So, I think that was a very positive piece of the budget and something that everybody is going to be able to utilize, and hopefully our collective offices will be able to call upon these mobile units to request them at different VFW meetings in our own districts. The one issue that I really I wanted to highlight was in the executive budget, it indicates that there's a decrease in funding for veteran nonprofit capital programs. Why are we decreasing this funding, and which nonprofit capital programs will be affected as a result of that decrease?
Thank you for that question. I'm going to have to get back to you on that because I'm not worked on
That's
that.
okay.
Thank you.
And also the $1.1 million in funding for Veterans Homeless Housing Program. Could you provide details on plans for this funding? Is there supportive housing built into this? In our district in Coney Island, we have Surf Vets, which is affordable housing for veterans. And one of the issues that we run into is that these are people with service-related disabilities. They may have mental health issues. They're people who were formerly experiencing homelessness. So there's not a lot of support within that housing, within that affordable housing system. So I think that anything with housing for veterans really does need to be supportive. I say this as a military wife, somebody with a service-disabled, who's service-connected disability, and you need to provide resources for people who have mental health conditions. So I would love to see supportive housing built into this. I don't think that $1.1 million could possibly provide the support that it needs. So I wanted to see what you do need to provide the supportive housing.
Thank you, Senator, and I look forward to working with you on that as we're in talks now for that program, because that's exactly what we want. This is not a one tier with these veterans. We have to meet them at the several levels to where they are, and that's why we're having this thoughtful discussion to ensure that that happens. I look forward to continuing that work with you.
Okay, and if you guys could please get me a number on what it would take to have a real comprehensive and supportive housing program for veterans, that would be great. I also wanted to, I know when we met, we discussed the funding for the Veterans Memorial Registry, which is built in here, which is wonderful. I wanted to see if there was any comprehensive list of resources for veterans and their families. I think sometimes there's these great organizations, I met with one today, Cohen's Veterans Network, that provides mental health services to not just veterans, but also their family, their children, spouses, whoever may need it. Is there a comprehensive list within the state that veterans and their families could tap into? And if there's not, would a similar project like the Registry for Memorials make sense?
Thank you for that question. And we're actually working out the details of that. In fact, after this meeting, we have a meeting to discuss that program as well. But we're looking forward to that $500,000 that the governor has given us to have this searchable database so that our family members can continue to honor the memories of their loved ones and have access to that for their children and their great-grandchildren. I happen to be a grandmother of 10, so I will appreciate when my grandchildren are able to look up grandma and see the services in there as well. Thank you for that. Look forward to working with you.
Absolutely. And my last question will be about the Dwyer peer-to-peer program, which is a wonderful program. I think that veterans supporting veterans, especially upon their return, is critical to their success and reintegration into civilian life. Do you feel that the governor's budget sufficiently covers it? There was a very, very moderate increase to the funding for the peer-to-peer program. Do you think that it's sufficient or it should be increased?
Well, as you know, the Joseph P. Dwyer program is an essential program around this nation. And for our state, we were happy last year when the governor doubled that budget to the $7.7 million, which allowed us to be able to work with them and OMH to be able to get this program out to our various counties throughout the state so that they could erect a program as well. We work closely with OMH to be able to do that, as well as our SUNY Albany researchers and partners to be able to put together a concise listing, a guideline booklet, a Q&A booklet, and how to erect and continue to strengthen and support them. You know, wherever they are right now, we are committed. I'm committed because this is a program that I used to send my veteran students to many years ago. So we know that this team is committed to continuing to support them with where they are, and we'll continue to push them as far as we can to ensure that our veterans across this state are serviced by that program.
And if you could also just let me know, I see that there's a breakdown by county. We don't have it quite as broken down for New York City. It just has New York City listed as the county. If you could send me a breakdown of the peer-to-peer services and the funding that are in both Kings County and Richmond County, I think that would be really helpful. We're happy to get the word out and, you know, provide support to our local veterans. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for your service, and I know I'm very much looking forward to working together with the mobile vans. I think it'll be a great help to veterans in need, so thank you.